Hi everyone, my name is Ritesh Agarwal, founder and CEO of Oyo, and I'm going to be teaching you how to fail and yet build a billion-dollar business. I started Oyo 7 years back. We are today one of the leading hotel platforms around the world. We serve close to 190,000 small hotels and homes around the world who are a part of our platform, which translates to over 1 million rooms. We are among the world's top 3 downloaded consumer apps and continue to be one of the best choices for both consumers to travel and small hotel owners or homeowners to not just survive but thrive in this new world of internet.
And Ritesh, how old are you?
Nas, I'm 27, getting older by the day, as you know.
I'm excited to learn from you.
I'm really looking forward to this session as well. Thank you for having me here. This topic is very close to my heart. I've always believed all through the last many years I've built Oyo is that every overnight success is at least a 5 or a 10-year-old story. A lot of times you may open a newspaper and see the story of an entrepreneur and look at it and feel, gosh, she or he got lucky. They just were successful overnight because somebody chose to invest in them, or they just found a business idea that was fascinating. Remember, if that's a real story, those people have been hard at work for at least 5 to 10 years.
How did you build a business? Why are you a founder? And how can I be a founder?
I think the question of a founder is a very critical one. How am I a founder? How did I know that? How do you know whether you are a founder? And how do you make sure that once you're able to assess, you know what's in store for you, both the good, the bad, and the ugly? I think the most important quest for a founder is that of knowing how passionate are you about solving a problem. And that should be the single most important thing for you. If you know that you're genuinely most excited about solving problems, regardless of whether you are wealthy or you're in duress, that is the most unique trait of being an entrepreneur or a founder yourself. Let me tell you a story of how I heard the word entrepreneur for the first time. I was in my 3rd grade. My eldest sister told me they have an entrepreneurship event. When you're young, you keep that Oxford dictionary, the small little Oxford dictionary, very close to yourself. So I went there and I searched to myself what entrepreneurship meant. And it read, if I'm not wrong, somebody who finds a problem, solves it, and creates wealth around herself or himself. I found it fascinating that you could solve problems and create wealth both at the same time. In that context, I'd like to recommend and ask you this question. What drives you every day you wake up? Is it the problems around you that you want to fix? Or something else? When you're under the shower, if you can't stop thinking about the problems and the challenges around yourself, and instead of complaining about them, you want to take charge and want to go fix it, that's when you know you're a founder. It doesn't matter what's your age, what's your background, what's your industry, what's your qualification, where are you from, whether you are qualified to solve the problems or not. Because remember, I'm not qualified to be a hotelier. One of the best automobile entrepreneurs in the world was not qualified to be an automobile engineer, but each one of them are pursuing their interests because of their love and passion to solve problems. That's how I think you identify whether you're a founder or not, and whether you want to pursue an idea or not.
Okay, Ritesh, then what is the first time you were a founder?
I used to live in a little town in the southern half of the state called Odisha in India, where I grew up. I saw there was an opportunity or a problem of bringing large-scale telecom access for common people. I was still 13 years old, in probably my 6th or 7th grade. That's when I felt maybe I should become a reseller of telecom SIM cards. That's when I believe I became an entrepreneur or a founder for the first time because I identified the need of people to want to communicate and connect with each other. I knew the way to do that was to find one of the telecom companies and start reselling their SIM cards to people around myself. It was probably the smallest venture I pursued, but that was the first business venture that I pursued, and it was probably the most exciting time for me to be a founder. What I want to leave you with this is that as you pursue new entrepreneurial opportunities, you always start small. And if you feel you have a problem to solve, don't think whether it's too big, too small, too early, too late. Just jump deep and try and make sure that you can solve that problem. That's when you start being a founder.
But what about people who may have insecurities, either their background, their age? You're not young enough, you're not old enough, you're not smart enough. How does a founder survive their insecurities?
The insecurities that come with being a founder are quite broad. It could be age, it could be your background, it could be the balance in your bank account, it could be the family around yourself who's telling you, are you sure you can make this work? There can be many of these insecurities around yourself. But in these situations, the one thing that matters the most is your belief and conviction in solving the problem that you have. I was always confident that the passion and conviction I had to solve the problem I was starting out with was unparalleled, and nobody else would have the passion or the hunger to solve the problems that I was pursuing, and that is why I was confident. And I knew, worst case, even if I failed, I'm going to go try again and will not stop until I succeed. That conviction and confidence really made a difference for myself, and I failed. I failed multiple times.
Wait, sorry, I have to pop up here. Ritesh, when you started a company, you were very, very young. Does your age work against you or in your favor when you're so young as an entrepreneur? And do you recommend young people to start a company?
Remember, there are a lot of stacks that are in your favor and there are bunch that are not in your favor. Things that are in your favor include you're young and you have nothing to lose. Use that to your advantage. You can now pursue industries that nobody else could have imagined who has the pressure of being successful. Second, you could use your laptop and internet and start a company out of your university campus. You don't need to go set up a business with an office space, an on-premise server, and things like those. Third, you can pursue new ideas every few months and fail because nobody's tracking you, or nobody's saying that, gosh, look at this girl or guy who's been successful or failure twice and what's happening next. And the fourth is, if not for anything, even if you fail, the learnings will be so valuable that all through your life, you would think that in your formative years, you were pursuing things nobody else was thinking about. These are things I'd recommend you as you think about the world of entrepreneurship being young. And sure, there will be challenges, some that I encountered as well. You will face challenges of people thinking, are you even credible? Can you build a real business? How committed are you? I remember one of my early mentors' conversations to me, which is people always want to join companies and founders who have momentum on their side. So you should begin your idea, build momentum around yourself. You will have everybody wanting to join you. Employees, investors, customers, and everyone else. But if you wait for one of them to join you, you will never get started. I want to conclude by saying that this is the best time to be an entrepreneur in any company, any industry, any geography around the world right now. And there are multiple reasons why I feel so. Whenever I reflect over weekends about the opportunities and the challenges around ourselves and myself, I find it quite fascinating that there is absolutely no industry, no segment, no geography where the opportunities are not huge. This is probably the only time in the last decades where I don't see an industry right from technology, consumer, media, food, grocery, pharmaceutical, energy, automobiles. In each one of these industries, there is a complete transition that's getting started as a part of the data age that we are in. Each one of you listening to me have an opportunity to pick out any one of these industries. Think about what will the next generation want. How would you use internet and data to completely turn those industries on their head? And if those problems excite you, I think it's time for you to be an entrepreneur or a founder. And I believe the time is not next month, next quarter, next year. I think the right time was yesterday. Now yesterday is gone. Probably the time to start is now.